Welcome back to another lesson here in BHL 1, this time lesson 15. Our goal of class today is to analyze one particular character in this narrative, the character Balaam. Is he good? Is he bad? Let's find out. Let's build our way up to Balaam by discussing the Israelites. Where were they? And how about where are they right now? In chapters 1 through 10, as discussed last time, they are in the wilderness of Sinai, receiving the Ten Commandments, receiving the other laws of Israel. Then in chapters 10 through 12, they do some traveling. This is the first push to Canaan, but they complain. They want to go back to Egypt. So they wander in the wilderness of Paran for quite some years. This is punishment for not trusting in the Lord. So all those 20 years and older are going to end up dying in this wilderness. Then in chapters 20 through 21, we get a second push to Canaan. More complaining, but now this time it's Moses who's getting arrogant. Moses sins by striking a rock instead of speaking to it. God wanted Moses to be gentle, to give his people gospel, to give them love. But instead, Moses reacted harshly with the law, hitting the rock with his staff. So now he too will fail to enter Canaan. He too will die before seeing the promised land. And then we get the final push to the promised land, the wilderness of Moab. That's where we're going to pick things up today. We've got the Balaam oracles taking place where you see this nice blue arrow up here near Jericho. Still in the land of Moab, but about to enter into the promised land. Balaam, in my opinion, is one of the most interesting people in all of Scripture. Balaam is the person who Balak, king of Moab, hires to curse the Israelites. Balak saw the Israelites, how numerous they were, all that God was doing for them and using them to accomplish, and so he wanted to get a curse placed on them. He ends up hiring Balaam, who is a heathen sorcerer who also uses the name of the Lord and listens to the Lord. A very strange combination. This is the first oracle given by Balaam. How can I denounce those whom the Lord has not denounced? From the rocky peaks I see them, from the heights I view them. I see a people who live apart and do not consider themselves one of the nations, who can count the dust of Jacob or number the fourth part of Israel. We see that Balaam recognizes that Israel is set apart. Israel can be blessed, but they cannot be cursed. Their God is simply too strong to place a curse upon. And so, although he was hired to provide a curse, he ends up providing a blessing. God was too strong. The result, instead of providing a curse, he blesses Israel. Now this next oracle, instead of trying to curse the whole nation of Israel, Balaam is going to try and curse just a little section of it. So we see him traveling to a different mountain, building a different altar, offering different sacrifices, seeing just a smaller portion of the camp. This is the second oracle portion of it. The Lord their God is with them. The shout of the king is among them. God brought them out of Egypt. They have the strength of a wild ox. Balaam again gives Balak a grand report. The Lord is with them. Of course, Balak is not thrilled to hear that the Lord is the strength of his people. He's angry. He tells Balaam, neither curse nor bless. Basically, stop talking. Close your mouth. You are fired. Don't say another word. Evidently, Balaam and Balak ended up clearing up their differences because here we see them traveling a third time to a different section of the mountain, building a different altar, offering more sacrifices. Here's a little section of the third oracle Balaam gives. How beautiful are your tents, O Jacob, your dwelling places, O Israel. Like valleys they spread out, like gardens beside a river, like aloes planted by the Lord, like cedars beside the water. Again, Balaam tries to curse, but he's unable. All he can do is recognize that Israel will receive special blessings from the Lord. The result is that Balaam is again angry. He rebukes Balaam. Balaam, in turn, is going to do some more prophesying. This time, he's going to be placing a curse on someone, not the Israelites, but on the person who hired him.
In the fourth oracle, we see that there are no more sacrifices to be made. Now it's time to just prophesy. And prophesy does he ever. I see him, but not now. I behold him, but not near. A star will come out of Jacob, a scepter will rise out of Israel. He will crush the foreheads of Moab, the skulls of the sons of Sheth. A ruler will come out of Jacob and destroy the survivors of the city. Imagine being Balak. You hired this guy, you promised him a ton of gold, and now he gets this crazy look in his eye, and he curses you. A king will rise out of Israel. We can see a connection, yes, to King David, but also to Jesus. Doesn't this sound a lot like what Jacob says to Judah in Genesis 49, the blessing that he gives him? Or maybe it makes you think of Micah 5 verse 2 and you get that connection with Christmas.
Balaam continues on his oracle streak. All while Balak seems to be swearing and cursing at him, he simply keeps going. Ah, who can live when God does this? Ships will come from the shores of Kittim. They will subdue Ashur and Eber, but they too will come to ruin. Destruction is coming. Not for the Israelites, but for Balak, for those who do evil. The result, well, things just sort of end. We don't really get a clear, defined ending of the agreement, but it seems that their contract comes to a close. So Balaam, is he good? Is he bad? This is this heathen sorcerer, someone who practices divination, who breaks the commands of God, and yet someone who does the Lord's will, someone who uses God's name. On the sheet that you're going to do before today, read through some of these other sections of Scripture that reference Balaam. Then do some evaluation. Evaluate this statement. Balaam was a true prophet of God, but had mixed motives. Tell me, is this a statement you agree with, disagree with, and why, based on these other passages, these other references in Scripture? Bring your work to class, and we'll do some discussing.